Good evening. This is the Drop Report, and we're coming to you with a special report involving the world's two largest nuclear powers. For the first time in decades, both the United States and Russia are openly signaling a willingness to resume nuclear weapons testing, a move that would mark a dramatic shift in global security norms. In the last 24 hours, senior officials from both Washington and Moscow have made statements indicating that nuclear testing, which has been largely halted worldwide since the 1990s, may be back on the table. Here's what's confirmed. U.S. officials say they are prepared to respond in kind if Russia conducts a nuclear test first. Russia, for its part, has publicly suggested it could resume testing if the United States does so. Neither nation has announced a firm date, location, or active preparation for a test, but both sides are clearly shifting their language. These announcements come amid worsening diplomatic relations and increased geopolitical tension. So, how did we get to this moment? 1992 through 1996, both the US and Russia effectively stopped live nuclear testing following global pressure and scientific consensus. Also, in 1996, most nations signed the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty, although it never fully is enforced. In recent years, tensions steadily rise due to conflicts, sanctions, and military posturing. Earlier this week, Russian officials began hinting publicly at the possibility of resuming tests. And hours later, U.S. officials respond, stating the United States will not be left behind if Russia breaks the testing pause. Today, the international community reacts to the idea that both nations may return to nuclear detonations for the first time in nearly 30 years. And while many voices are weighing in on the topic, these are the direct stakeholders shaping the current moment. The United States government, defense, State Department, and nuclear oversight agencies, the Russian Federation, senior defense officials, and Kremlin leadership, international nuclear monitoring organizations, especially those enforcing or tracking compliance with the Test Ban Treaty, UN Security Council members. Many are now evaluating the geopolitical fallout, as well as neighboring nations and allies, especially countries with historical opposition to nuclear expansion. A return to nuclear testing wouldn't just be symbolic, it would represent a major shift in global security norms. Here's why this is important. Nuclear testing is widely seen as a last resort step before accelerating arms development. It risks undoing decades of effort to reduce the global nuclear threat. It could spark a new arms race, pulling in China, India, Pakistan, and other nuclear nations. It affects global stability, economic confidence, and diplomatic cooperation across multiple regions. For many countries, especially those near test sites, nuclear detonations carry environmental and health impacts that last generations. In short, history shows that when nuclear testing resumes, global tensions rise fast. As expected, the public's reactions are mixed, but concern is the dominant theme. On social platforms, users across the US, Europe, and Asia express concern about a renewed Cold War environment. Advocacy groups are issuing statements urging restraint and reminding the public of past nuclear fallout impacts. Some analysts note a rise in political rhetoric domestically in both nations, framing nuclear readiness as a sign of strength. Meanwhile, communities near historical test sites in Nevada, Kazakhstan, and the Arctic regions are voicing fear of environmental consequences. But what are the experts saying? Nuclear historians warn that this mirrors patterns seen in the 1950s and 1980s, periods marked by rapid escalation and miscommunication. Security analysts emphasize that nuclear testing often precedes modernization of warheads, not mere political signaling. Scientific experts note that modern testing, even underground, can produce geological and environmental risks. Diplomatic scholars say any move to resume testing would strain alliances and shake global confidence in international law. It's important to stress experts are not predicting outcomes, only outlining what history and current patterns suggest. There are several key details still unconfirmed, though. Whether either country has begun physical preparations for a test, the potential timeline, days, months, or purely hypothetical, whether these statements are strategic posturing or genuine intent, how China and other nuclear powers plan to respond, and whether diplomatic channels are being used behind the scenes to de escalate matters. Until this information is verified, speculation should be treated with caution. This has been the Drop Report with a special report. Stay informed and stay locked in.